everyone and welcome back. So my husband and I have now been married for 6 months, which has been absolutely incredible. Time has flown really fast. I mean, when you're counting down to be married or how long you've been married, and then when you have kids, like everything flies by. But with that being said, every time I look at our wedding pictures or someone asks me about our wedding, I always reflect back to that day, of course, and I think about the things that were really important. There were some things that happened during the wedding that no one even noticed, and that was like something that I was so excited about, and then other things I didn't notice, but other people were like, wow, that was really cool, and it's like that just happened to turn out that way. So I wanted to share with you guys the things that we actually decided to splurge on that were a big deal to us, and the other things that weren't as big of a deal, and so we decided to save on those to just come together and make that day the best day ever. So if you guys are interested in hearing the things that we chose to spend our money on and not for our wedding, then just keep on watching. So in watching these videos, of course, you always take into consideration, hey, that's what those two people wanted, and you might want something different, but like I said, this is just what we chose to do to make it the day that it was for us, because I am going to post our wedding video, and so I just wanted you guys to know the things that went into creating that day and making it what it was. And the first, which may be small to some people, I don't know, but we did not do save the dates. We actually got engaged in July of 2017, and we had our wedding in July of 2018. And so by the time that everything lined out, it honestly, there was no reason for us to send out save the dates. It's another, you know, another photo shoot, so, and then another cardstock paper that you have to find, whether you print it yourself or you get it printed from one of the websites, etc. It's just a whole nother thing, mailing costs. So we just decided to just scratch the save the dates, and it worked out for us. We did send our wedding invitations out about 4 months in advance, but our wedding was small for us. There was about 120 people, 100 people around there. So we, you know, told a lot of people. Most of it was, I mean, it was all close friends and family, so a lot of people already knew the wedding date, so save the date wasn't necessary. Now, I do understand, hey, if you're having a destination wedding, you might want to send those out, but for us, like I said, we didn't do them, and it saved us a couple $100. Also, as far as invitations went, we did not do anything crazy for our invitations. They were very basic and simple, timeless, and just to the point. There wasn't a whole bunch of like extra things that went with them, but I really, because Darian didn't care really what the invitations looked like. I just wanted to make sure they were clean and they were classic and that they were timeless and people could read them. You know, because sometimes there's too many loops and that extra little loop just threw off. Is that an A or a C or what? Like, there's just too much. Originally, we got samples sent from like Minted, because you can do that too. Go online to Minted and a couple different websites that do, you know, the mass production of stationery cards. For wedding, they usually let you pick out a couple different samples. It's completely free. It might be $1. It might be $1. Don't quote me, because it might be $1, but it's less than like $3 total. You pick a couple different samples, and then the color like ribbon that you would choose, and they send it to you, and you get to feel the cardstock, and it's actually really nice. I was gonna do that, but then when we got our wedding planner, she just price matched it and actually got us a better quality invitation for the same price. So you can always, you know, do that and see if you can get exactly that, maybe something you see online that you love for a cheaper price by, you know, a local business or something that can give you a better price. But that's how we saved with our invitations and save the dates. That was the first thing that we chose to save on. The second thing that we chose to save on was ceremony seating. Now, our venue offered their own chairs for the ceremony, and then we had different chairs for the reception. I wanted to have the ceremony and reception chairs be exactly the same. So I thought that they could just move the chairs from the ceremony into the reception and be perfectly fine. They said that that's not something that they normally do for the full amount of chairs, maybe half, but not for, you know, I think they had like 140 chairs or something like that, just in case like extra people came around. I don't remember why there were so many, but they had more chairs. Instead, the only other option I had was to get 2 sets of our ceremony chairs. So put our ceremony chairs, sorry, there's like construction outside, but chairs for the ceremony, and then the same exact amount of chairs for outside for the reception, and it was going to be double the amount. So say it was like $1,000 just for chairs, it was going to be $2,000 because I wanted the same exact clear ones outside. So for me, it was just like, you know what, people are only going to be out there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes for the actual ceremony. We can use the ones that were provided by the venue, save, you know, $1,000 and either not use it or use it towards something else that, you know, people are actually going to enjoy versus just for looks outside. It actually turned out perfectly fine, to be honest. It looked really pretty. Always check with your venue and see what they provide, because at the beginning I didn't plan on using them at all, like I said, and then in the end, once the budget was starting to come down to exactly what it was going to be, then we were able to kind of, okay, decide, you know, we'll be over if we spend that extra little, and we can just do this instead and do those little swaps, especially at the end when your budget is probably like the tightest it's ever been, to just, hey, we can use those chairs. So we saved on the ceremony chairs and splurged more on the reception chairs. The next thing we saved on was just miscellaneous add-ons that our venue actually had. They offered, you know, standard linen, standard tables, standard chairs, so you can always use certain things from there, which we definitely did. We didn't use any, we used some of their linens for underlay, but we brought our own overlays and brought our own chairs for certain parts, like I said. But they also had add-ons for food, so we could get like extra appetizers and extra things that added to like just food in general. Granted, the food was good. I'm very into food. I wanted the food to be amazing, but at the same time, I didn't want to have so many different options that people were just eating all these little things versus just eating, you know, just a normal amount of food. You know, I just didn't want excess.
Just to have it and say, you know, we had 12 appetizers and 4 entrees.
Like, there was no reason for that. So we definitely opted out of adding on just miscellaneous food and appetizers and extra drinks and extra this and extra, we didn't do that. The next thing, oh, as far as the bride and for me, I had my dress and it actually like changed into 2 different looks, so that was fun. I didn't have to actually get out of my dress, but I had like an over skirt, so that was fun. I had a super long cathedral length veil with beading on it. It was incredible. Big curls, big lashes, big everything. So when it came down to my jewelry, I didn't really know what to do as far as it went. I'm not super into, you know, a whole bunch of jewelry. I like a little bit of dainty pieces, but especially with how my dress worked, I just didn't feel the need to splurge on anything accessory wise. I got these earrings for like $30 or $40 from Nordstrom online. I ordered them like a couple days before the wedding, to be honest. I'm like, oh, I need something in my ear, and I didn't want to wear a hoop because that would have been my first choice. But yeah, they were like $30 or $40. I ordered 2 different ones, and then I just picked one on the day of and went with it, and it turned out perfectly fine. Like in some of the pictures, you can't even see that I had on earrings because, like I said, I had my hair, I had my veil, I had other things going on. So I would say, as far as like additional jewelry went, unless you're really into jewelry and maybe your, you know, dress is very plain and you want a lot of jewelry, but it might look really pretty with very, very minimal jewelry if the dress is minimal, because I love that look too. That was originally the look I was going for. You don't have to have bracelets on everything and earrings and, you know, hey, necklaces and this. You don't have to have all of that stuff. Just keep it minimal. And that's what I did, and it turned out perfect. And like I said, in some of the pictures you couldn't even see I had my earrings. I didn't have any bracelets or anything. I was very like, I mean, my dress was very sparkly, so I let the dress kind of shine and then didn't really add a whole bunch to it, which I am happy I did, because I think if I did, it would have been too much. But yeah, any additional accessories and stuff, I would just keep them very minimal and very timeless and not do anything like crazy, in my personal opinion. I just think you'll just love seeing pictures with like you like that and your bridesmaids like that for years to come. One of the last things we saved on were favors. The last time I went to a wedding that had a favor, I don't remember. And I asked my wedding planner, there's not very much left in the budget, and now we need favors. Like, I forgot about those, and she said, honestly, you don't even need to worry about it, because a lot of people will forget the favor. Like, I feel like that's what I did at the last couple weddings I've been to. Either they didn't have them, which was fine because I wasn't mad about it, or I left them there if they did, because I didn't know it was the favor. So I would honestly say, you know, it's 2019 now. Don't even worry about favors. Like, just, unless you know, there's something that you really want to do. But I feel like the experience of the day is more of a big deal than, you know, them taking something home with them. So that's just, I mean, we didn't do favors. It worked out perfectly fine, and no one ever asked us, hey, did you guys have favors? No one. They said, wow, the dancing was great, so don't worry about it. And then the last thing. So the last thing we splurged on in some ways, but we saved on it in other ways. And it's one of the main things that I had dreamed of for our wedding was flowers. I love flowers. I wanted as many as we possibly could have within our budget. And so the way that we went about doing that, we saved and we splurged, like I said. The tables that were further away from the dance floor, so those would be the tables that aren't photographed as much because they're further away from the dance floor, we use smaller centerpieces. So on those tables, like I said, smaller centerpieces, and they weren't fully, there wasn't a full layout. So for the tables that were not the head tables, it was like an eating plate, the fork, spoon, I think there was like 2 of each maybe, and then I think just 1 glass. There might have been 2, but I think the other table had like 4 or 3 or something, like fully set table. So the saved on tables, we didn't do the full setup for eating. Those tables are the tables that are not going to get pictured as much as the tables that are closer to the dance floor. Those are the ones that are going to be in most of the pictures, so those ones need to be full and laid out and pretty. And so that's what we did. The tables that were closer in, we did the full layout of everything. So all the forks, all the spoons, all the cups, everything, all the chargers and the layers, the whole thing. The other ones, we just had the basic setup, which was still beautiful. Outside tables were very simple, very classic, and still pretty, but we could get, for the price, almost 2 to 2.5 of those tables as for every table we actually had fully set up. So that's how we were able to save money on flowers but still have flowers. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was kind of fun to go down memory lane again and to look at pictures again and pick out the pictures to put up on the screen for you guys and just reflect again on that day because it was so amazing. I promise you the next day I was like, Darian, can we do this again? And he thought I was insane. I love weddings, and I loved our wedding. Our wedding was just one of the most incredible days of my life, and it definitely started out our marriage amazing to just have all of our friends and family there, and just a part of that big step in our life. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's any other things that you think you know, for your wedding that you splurged on or saved on, leave them in the comments below if they're different than anything that I said, because I'm always interested to see, you know, what's important to some people, what's not important to others. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any other video suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one.